welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And today we are previewing week 1 of the preseason. We'll also recap the camp that was Wofford. Bye-bye. I guess next year. It sounds like they're going to go to Wofford for the immediate future. And we're going to give out some camp awards, things like that. So we're going to have a little bit of fun today. This podcast is brought to you by CBDX.com. Go to CBDX.com for all of your CBD Delta 8 needs. Jerry and I personally like the gummies. They give you a nice little mellow feeling, and they're not that expensive. Promo code MEOW, save 20% off your purchase. We get a little kickback as well. So help support the podcast. Get your CBD needs. Check them out.
Yep. And before we really dive into anything too serious, unfortunately, we do have to go over the injuries. I guess this is the serious part. Shaq Thompson is still on the PUP list. Definitely won't play in Washington. J.C. Horn has been slowly working with the team, but he will not play on Sunday. They are just slowly bringing him along, not to tweak that foot anymore. Terrace Marshall injured his lower leg on August 9th, but has been working on the side in a red jersey. Probably won't play in Washington. Again, they're just being cautious with some of these guys they expect to play this season. And tight end Ian Thomas has a rib injury and will be out 1 to 2 weeks. CJ Saunders suffered a quad injury and will be out 3 to 4 weeks. That's brutal.
Brutal for
just
him.
For him. Yeah.
Bad timing for him.
And tight end Colin Thompson has a calf injury and is not practicing as well. So, with all those tight ends, they also lost, what is his name? Jacob Bibbitts, but I'm not really considering him on the team. And Steven Sullivan also is injured. So, 4 tight ends out of, I think, the 4 or 5 we had are injured right now. So, the Panthers went ahead and signed tight ends Ryan Izzo and Nate Becker. And they waived former 6th-round pick Thomas Fletcher, long snapper.
Oh, man. Well, what a career that Thomas Fletcher had here with us.
I think the worst part about it is we had a really good long snapper last year, J.J. Jansen, who's been here for years, and they drafted this guy. So the thought was, hey, he'll stick around on the practice squad this year, and then next year, J.J. Jansen will probably be gone. Well, they re-signed J.J. Jansen. I mean, at this point, that was just a complete waste of a pick.
J.J. Jansen is still very good, and Thomas Fletcher couldn't beat him out. So I think J.J. Jansen's 36, 37, so he's kind of getting up there, but, he's a long snapper. I think they can have pretty long careers. Obviously, he's proving it. So
they don't even get touched now. I mean, it's illegal to hit the center after they snap the ball. So
it's just really
for long snaps.
Back as long as his back holds out, he'll still be good. So Thomas Fletcher leaving, not a big deal. But it does prove that draft pick was as ridiculous as it seemed at the time.
Yeah. It made no sense.
You don't draft a long snapper. Ever.
Well, I guess it made sense. It was like, okay, I could see what they're doing. But this year, it just, again, sometimes the plans that they put in place don't pan out or they don't follow through with their plans.
Yeah. J.J. Jansen, undrafted, by the way, just in case anybody wanted to know. Undrafted. As are probably 99% of the long snappers in the league. So, as we talked about, Thomas Fletcher, I know this whole podcast isn't about Thomas Fletcher, but he was, preparing not to be drafted when the Panthers picked him, when they called him. He was basically talking to other teams already. So, All right. So camp is over. Wofford, the heat of Wofford has passed. We no longer have to go down there, at least this year. Overall thoughts on camp, Jerry? I mean, no real big surprises, I don't think.
Well, there's a big win. I mean, yes, I just read off a laundry list of injuries, but I say they escaped pretty good without serious injuries. Yes, Ian
Yeah.
Thomas has that rib injury, and C.J. Saunders has his injury, but for the most part, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Baker, yes, and Darnold, they didn't
The
suffer
major
any.
players, yeah, Brian Burns, the major guys, and even the guys that got hurt, they're not season-ending injuries,
Yeah, they're
right?
not.
They're
I mean, Mekhi
side.
Becton broke a kneecap, out for the season. I mean, that type of injury is just devastating.
Yeah,
You know,
and we've seen a
so
lot. We've seen ACLs all over the league. It seems like guys tearing ACLs and just hurting themselves,
I mean,
badly. And right, you're right. The Panthers not having that type of injury is a win. Absolutely.
yeah. So that's the first thing. But other than that, it seemed a little underwhelming. It may be because of these new practice regimes. It didn't seem like I saw many hard hitting or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the fact that I kind of heard that Baker Mayfield has started chirping at the defense, and the defense enjoys chirping back, kind of
Mm-hmm.
bringing both sides up. I think that's good because back in our Super Bowl run, Josh Norman and Cam Newton always chirped at each other, and I think that builds
Yep.
camaraderie and kind of that I want to beat you.
Healthy competition.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but Baker seems to be feeling a lot more comfortable around the team. He's letting his personality show. I think last night at FanFest, they asked him about the NBA retiring Bill Russell's number league wide. Bill Russell's number 6, right? Baker's
Mm-hmm.
number 6. Um, and Baker said, "Yeah, maybe one day when I retire, they'll retire number 6 from the NFL for me." So the guy does not lack confidence. He does not
No.
lack confidence. But yeah, I mean, in terms of camp, it would have been nice to come out of camp with a starting quarterback, like knowing the starting quarterback. But I feel like Baker showed really well in camp.
I feel like it's already from everybody else's perspective, it's Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I heard Scott Fitterer talk that they do plan on naming a starter before the third preseason game. That
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like they already have Baker marked in there as the starter. Just from the vibe he got when he was doing his interview, he did say that they plan on, naming a starter, and he said he would expect it kind of after the practices at New England and after the first
Mm-hmm.
preseason game. He goes, because that's when they really matters. And it sounds like they already know who they're going to go with. They're just trying to keep the competition going.
Yeah. Which, whatever. They like the fact that there's a competition. They feel like it's good for the team. They feel like they've seen, you know, harder play, I guess, from other players as well. Same thing with the left tackle competition. Brady and Icky.
Yeah.
So that one I feel like maybe is a little more real
Oh,
than the
yeah.
QB competition. I feel like there's a decent chance that Brady Christensen is the starting left tackle week 1. Don't know that I love that, but I feel like there's a decent chance that happens.
And Icky has been getting first team reps this past week. I
A few,
know
yeah.
that he gets some first team, and it seems like I read one article that said Brady Christensen ran like one series, and literally Icky was in the next play. Like it was just like they just wanted to call him the starter. So I don't know. I'm just a little taken back by that. I
Yeah.
I I like James Campen. I understand the competition, but let's be real. If everybody wants Brady Christensen at left guard, that's basically what Matt Rule has said and everything else. Let's put him there. Let's get him working so he can do it.
Well, let me ask you this: if the offensive line is better with, let's say a B plus at left tackle and Brady Christensen, and an A at left guard and Icky versus an A at left tackle and a C minus at guard with Brady, I think that's something they have to explore. Like maybe Icky is a better left tackle than Brady, but Icky is also a way better left guard than Brady. I think that's something they have to think about. Maybe what's
Ah,
the best, putting the best 5 out there in their best spots, I'm not saying that I want Brady Christensen to start left tackle, or I'm not even saying that I think he will, but I think that that's where they are because Brady did not look good at left guard last year. Now he was surrounded by crap. I get that. Like he had a bad left tackle, he had a bad center, but he looked bad at left guard. He did.
Yeah, I agree with that he looks bad, but that's what they've been, and that's why I say he needs to be playing at left guard now instead of playing left tackle and then
I agree.
kicking in occasionally for that. Get him used to the position you're expecting him from. And he's going to probably have the same guy next to him right now. Pat Elflein is still penciled in as a starter.
I don't. Yeah. Again, I mean, penciled in for FanFest last night. I think it was it Brady at left tackle, Michael Jordan at left guard, Elflein at center. So, is that what we're going to see week 1 against Cleveland? I hope not.
I hope not
really
too.
Disappointing. That would be really disappointing. All these guys we brought in, and the only one that starts is Corbett at right guard. I mean, that'd be a bummer.
Yeah, but it's kind of what I've learned about Matt Rule. He likes to stick with what he's familiar with. I know this is a new offensive coordinator and everything, but it seems like he's really stuck in his ways. Kind of like Ron Rivera was with us before. He didn't want to start the rookie guys. I remember Brian Birds, we were banging on the table yelling, why are you not playing him more? You just drafted him, and he's making an impact. No, he's got to learn. He's got to learn. It's a little frustrating, especially when the team is not very good in that area, and they weren't good last year. Why are you getting the bad players... the bad players out there again? Do you think they're magically going to get better when they've been in the league for 4 or 5 years? They played like poo the whole time.
Well, a lot of people feel that way about Ian Thomas, so we'll see. A lot of people feel that way, Jerry Dempster. All right. Well, do you want to talk some like camp awards here?
Yeah, we'll do some camp awards before we jump into the mini Washington preview game.
Okay. Well, we're only going to do a few camp awards. Like Jerry said, it almost feels like the camp was a little lackluster. It
seemed very quick too this year.
It did, yeah. And again, they're still doing practices and stuff, but it'll all be moved to Bank of America Stadium. So, all right, where do you want to start here with our awards?
Let's go with breakout. The first breakout player. I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, it almost feels like CJ Saunders had a bit of a coming out party. He was getting a lot of run at like third receiver, slot receiver, kind of with the first team. CJ Henderson also had a really nice camp. I think I'm going to go with CJ Henderson as the breakout player. It feels like he really looked like he was deserving of that top 10 pick. Even at FanFest last night, he had a nice pick of Sam Darnold. So looking forward to watching him play this preseason and see if he can, cement himself as a really good rotational player.
Yeah, I'm going to go with CJ Saunders because I know he just got injured a couple days ago, but I think we know his name. And like you said, for an undrafted guy last year, he was getting first team reps as a third receiver over Terrace Marshall, over Rashard Higgins. I think that plays a big name, and that's why I say him for the breakout. Because I was all in love with Shi Smith, but
wow,
I mean he supposedly had decent looking camp, but he didn't seem to be making those plays like CJ Saunders was.
Right. Yeah, he very very quiet, really. Outside of, Terrace Marshall, we saw make some big plays. Again, not surprising. He made big plays in camp last year. DJ looked good. Robbie looked good in camp. Not a breakout candidate, I don't think, because he's been good before, but a pleasant surprise. Defensively, would you say anyone really stepped out other than CJ Henderson?
Amarni Barno had some really nice looking plays a few times. I didn't hear much about him, but I did see him. I know when we went, I saw him blow by a tackle, and
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, "Woo!" He
Yeah.
had some speed, and he could definitely be a pass rusher for this team in the future. I think he still probably needs to bulk up a little bit, but obvious passing downs. I would not be shocked if we see him out there this year.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, he's extremely fast. He's got that elite trait. So one of the guys I'm really looking forward to watching in the preseason games. Um, Brian Burns always looks good. Certainly
Yeah,
not a breakout guy, but he looked really good in camp. So, all right. How about let's go the opposite side? Camp disappointment. I don't want to go too negative here, but
disappointment. We're
yeah,
doing air quotes here
yeah.
because I'm gonna go Icky. Uh, the only reason why I really say it is we were drafted so high with so much
Hmm.
expectations. Out of the top three tackles, we all assumed that Charles Cross, all that, Evan
Hmm.
Neal and Icky were the top three tackles, and they were the other two are already entrenched starters. They are already
Hmm.
playing with first team snaps, and this could just because of Matt Rule, could be because Brady Christensen should have been playing left tackle last year, but still being on that second team and not jumping out. Even though other players have said that he's a monster and that he looks great, not being in that first team already kind of makes me it's a disappointment in my eyes, if that makes sense.
And I think on their first unofficial depth chart, like it's him and Brady are both on the front
I'm looking
line,
at their
right?
depth chart right now. He is
No,
second.
the official one from the
The Panthers.
Panthers.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, well, I'm going to dovetail off that. I'm going with Matt Rule as my camp disappointment. Now, on one hand, I feel like Matt Rule had his best camp from
Yeah.
the standpoint of speaking with the media, the way the practices were run, having everybody there, no COVID issues, nothing like that. I feel like Matt Rule had his best camp. Um, he sounds very confident. He even sounds like an NFL coach. But the decisions that he's been making with the quarterbacks, with the tackles, with the centers, particularly those three spots on the offense, are just confusing. I would have loved to have seen Baker play way more with the ones once it was obvious that he was the better quarterback. Really would have liked to see Matt Corral get some run with the ones. Just let him go out there and play a few
Or
plays.
just let him go ahead and be your third quarterback. Go ahead and give him those snaps
Yeah.
instead of giving PJ Walker so many snaps.
Why is PJ Walker getting snaps? I don't understand. Like, it's fine to have four QBs in camp. That's fine. We see that all the time. But you're keeping Matt Corral.
Yeah.
And unless you trade Darnold, which nobody wants him, PJ's gone. PJ's not going to be on this team. He might get on the practice squad if nobody picks him up. You don't need PJ stealing opportunities from Matt Corral. Matt Corral
No.
needs those opportunities. He's a rookie. He's possibly the future of the team. He needs those reps
Exactly.
desperately. So another guy that I'm looking forward to watching in the preseason, Matt Corral.
Oh.
Go ahead.
We're gonna go on a Matt Rule rant and making
Okay.
the offense run after a nice touchdown
Yes.
because they did a celebrate. I understand. You pull them to the side. You say, "Hey, don't do this." You make that guy do so many push-ups or whoever the celebration.
Rashard Higgins, new to the team, maybe
Yeah,
didn't know that rule, especially in a practice that you weren't supposed to reach the ball at the goal line or whatever he did. Um, yeah, 100%. That is college stuff. These are professionals. And this is a team where you're trying to build that camaraderie. You're trying to get them excited about playing with each other. And then you're going to bust them for celebrating a practice touchdown in front of the fans at
yeah.
training camp. Like, give me a break. That's so stupid. It's idiotic.
I understand holding people accountable, but that for a celebration, shouldn't have. No. You don't make the whole team.
Not for that. No.
You,
Like you said, pull Rashard Higgins aside. Hey, man, we don't do that. If I see it again, the whole offense runs, and you're the
Or
cause.
you're
Give him a
running
warning.
because
Or make him run. Right.
because I mean the offensive lineman or the tight end who ran his route just probably went yay so he's got to run.
Yeah. Well, it's basically making everyone accountable, but it doesn't for a first offense for something like that. It makes no sense. So yeah, Matt Rule would be my camp disappointment.
Okay.
But again, I thought he had his best camp, so it's a sliding scale.
And our camp MVP. I'll let you go ahead and take this one first, and then I'll.
Oh man, yeah, this is a tough one because again, like, did anybody like really stand out in camp? I think I'm going to go Baker just because I think people were most excited to see him. He did not disappoint. He's come out, he's learned the offense. It seems like he's made some really good throws. He's made some exciting plays in camp. He's looked better than Darnold by far. I'm confident in him. I think that, this is what you wanted. This is like best case scenario for this point of, the season and camp and everything, is that he seems to be on the right page with everybody. He seems to be buying into the system. So I'm going to go with Baker.
Oh, that's a very good one. Wasn't thinking him, but I could see how you go there. I'm going to go. DJ Moore had a really good camp. That being said, DJ Moore is also probably the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL, multiple 1,000-yard seasons. Christian McCaffrey looked good, but I'm going to go CJ Henderson. And I'm going to say this because with J.C. Horn still nursing his way back, Keith Taylor's injury, that being said, it sounds like CJ Henderson's ready to step up and be that guy. And I feel very good about the cornerback situation now because coming into this camp, I was worried about him. I was thinking Keith Taylor outplayed him last year and stuff, but it sounds like this guy is ready to take off, and I'm stoked about it. That's why I'm giving him my camp MVP.
Yeah, 100%. And in fact, I was thinking of him before I chose Baker, but I was like, well, I already chose CJ Henderson for something, so I don't want to choose him again and only have two players in this thing. But yeah, I mean, I completely support that. And like I said, when we talked about him earlier, his improvement is obvious. Matt Rule has said that CJ's personality is coming out more now that he's again, another guy who's more comfortable around the team, letting his personality show. So that's great. CJ Henderson was a guy that we had talked about drafting last year.
Or 2 years ago, but yes.
The year before last. But he was one of those guys that we could easily see the Panthers taking with that Derek Brown pick, right? So to have him on the team and what we gave up for him and to see him actually performing is really exciting. It really is.
Yeah. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and start working on looking at the Washington game this Saturday. Tomorrow, wow. But
1:00.
So
weird having the 1:00 Saturday first preseason game.
Yeah.
I don't remember that happening a lot with us.
Yeah, and it's preseason, so we're not going to go into full details because it's preseason. We're not even going to see the starters. We will see Baker and Sam Darnold about 6 to 8 snaps. That's what Matt Rule said. I don't expect CMC to play. Maybe DJ Moore will get some snaps just because of the simple fact that they want him to run with the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But
I expect to see DJ Moore out there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see which quarterback starts. Do you have what's your bet? Baker or Sam gets the start?
I'm going to say Sam Darnold that way.
Me too.
If I'm wrong, I'll be happier.
Yeah.
But Matt Rule loves to antagonize me. He doesn't know he does it. Like, this is a one-way, villain.
Yeah. I mean, I just hope that if that is the case, Sam goes out there for a series, Baker gets to play with the starters that next series. That's what I'm hoping.
That's pretty much what Matt Rule has said, that both guys will play with the starters. Again, the starters that are playing. Christian McCaffrey's not out there. But, I do hope that too, and I assume that's what's going to happen, that both of them get about 2 series each, and that's about it. Unless one has a nice long drive, and then they'll probably call it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, do you want to take a quick look at the depth chart and any surprises or disappointments
Yeah,
that we see from that?
yeah, we'll take a quick look. They have Brady Christensen at left tackle. We've already talked about with Icky
Mm-hmm.
behind him. Left guard, Michael Jordan, who's been starting there when Christensen is. Um, in center, I'm a little shocked that they still have Pat Elflein as starter with Bradley Bozeman. This is another one of those camp battles that I'm like,
Yeah.
why go sign a good center if you're not going to put Elflein down? I mean,
Right.
why are you taking snaps away to him? Because from all accounts, O-line is something that they blend well together. Like
Mm-hmm.
each group kind of knows what the other one's going to do. Austin Corbett, right guard. Taylor Moton, left or right guard, right tackle. Anything else you see on the offensive line that kind of steps out?
Offensive line, not really. I guess I did want to mention Sam Tecklenburg as the backup center currently listed. Was actually playing some tight end in camp
Yes, because
once yeah, once everybody got hurt. So that's kind of interesting that he has a little bit of versatility there. But
hey,
yeah, I mean,
he caught a touchdown.
yeah, yeah. I mean, outside of just Michael Jordan starting, nothing really surprises me. I would have liked to have seen maybe even Icky at left guard to start this first preseason game just to see if that's something that they like. But um, Deontay Brown behind Dennis Daly and Michael Jordan is a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, he's someone I should have probably considered for disappointment of the season
Yeah,
because of camp because I have heard nothing about him, and we had some high hopes coming out of college last year, and I don't think he's
yeah.
going to make this roster.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yep. Um, well, let's look at wide receiver. No massive surprises here. DJ and Robbie listed as the starters. Rashard Higgins listed as the third wide receiver. Terrace Marshall, number 4. And then you've got Zylstra, Shy Smith, Kirkwood, and then Saunders is hurt, but still listed as basically the 8th receiver.
Yeah,
So if you're just looking at this initial depth chart, you would say probably Kirkwood and Saunders are out.
yeah,
If they keep Andre Roberts, listed as the 5th wide or like the 9th wide receiver or something, but he is obviously going to make the team as kick returner. So yeah,
yep.
no
And
real surprises there.
and then we'll go ahead and also their second backup running back. They have Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. They shared the spot. I'll be kind of interested to watch. I know this later on. Them play in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited for them actually.
Yeah.
Now flipping over to the defense.
Who gets the starting running back nod in this game? Chuba.
Chuba, familiarity.
Yeah, I would say Chuba too. Yeah.
Going over to the defensive side, no big surprise. Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Matt Ioannidis, Etor at the other defensive end spot. Shaq Thompson, linebacker. Damian Wilson, linebacker. Frankie Louvu. Basically, everyone that we expected is right there. Dante Jackson, starting corner. J.C. Horn, starting corner, with C.J. Henderson and Keith Taylor backing them up. Again, no huge surprise.
No
And Jeremy
surprises.
Chin and Xavier Woods. No
Yeah,
surprises.
I mean, the defense is pretty much set. I could see Yetur and Marquise Haynes, depending on how things go in the preseason. I could see maybe Marquise Haynes taking that starting spot. But other than that, I don't know that there's anybody that can move up.
No, I don't either. I think what you just said, I think it really plans on. I think Etor's going to be the starter, but depending on the situation, like Etor's a better run stopper than Marquise is. But if it's an obvious passing down, like I said, Marquise Haynes and Mari Barno, I could see them stepping in that situation.
Yeah. Special teams, that we didn't sign any competition for any of those spots really. The only one that's different or that you maybe wondering about is Andre Roberts, kick returner. Shi Smith and CJ Saunders both listed as his backups, but Hecker at punter, Zane Gonzalez at kicker, and JJ Jansen long snapper. Those were always going to be the guys. So
Yeah.
feeling pretty good about the roster overall. Against once we can get the starters figured out on offense, and get them actually practicing with other. I guess the only good thing about this whole preseason schedule now with only 3 games is you've got that week and a half, almost 2 weeks in between the last preseason game and the first regular season game. That'll give the starters time to gel.
And I know I said training camp's over and it seems fast, but I kind of like the fact for the team, I don't like it because I don't get to see what's going on, but they can implement more of the offense and more of the defense for the actual game, real season, undercover. I know I couldn't take a photo with my phone of Andre Roberts catching a punt from a jugs machine because that's going to break some breaking news, but
Yeah.
They were trying to be cautious because of that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So week 1 of the preseason is upon us, and the Panthers will be traveling to Washington to play the Commanders. Obviously, all eyes on the Panthers side are going to be on the quarterbacks. How's Baker look? How's Sam look? How's Corral look? Are you more excited to watch Sam, Baker, or Corral?
I want to see Corral because I haven't really seen him.
Me too. I'm way more excited to watch Corral.
And Matt Rule's going to put PJ out there for the majority of the game. Any bets on that?
Yeah, I think. God, it's so stupid. But yeah, just looking at their depth chart, I mean, PJ's clear number 3, and Matt Corral's clear number 4 right now on the depth chart. So, I would expect PJ to probably play most of the second quarter into the third quarter, and then Corral come in for the final,
fourth quarter,
probably. Yeah. So yeah, it's a bummer. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Corral. I want to see him in a Panthers uniform out there against a real defense. Even though it's probably gonna be a third, fourth string defense. With our back end receivers aren't bad.
No,
he could make some noise. I mean, it could be fun.
I mean, again, Terrace Marshall probably won't play. So, but you're going to be looking at, a Shi Smith.
Yeah, Kirkwood, Zylstra.
Higgins.
Higgins. Yeah, Higgins will probably.
Yeah, he'll be gone if he is in that fourth quarter.
PJ. Yeah, he'll be probably playing more with PJ. But, I mean, I hope that they surprise us and they put Corral out there.
They should. It makes no
good of the team. That's what they should do, right?
Yeah.
But other than those players, I mean, I guess I'm looking at maybe Yetur, Haynes. I mean,
I'm really looking forward to the running backs. I want to say Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. I want to see which one of them kind of looks better. I know they are going to both make this roster, and I know they both have different skill sets. But I'm just kind of curious to watch them both kind of go out there, especially with the first team, see what they have.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Chuba a lot last year. And Deontay, he's on the Titans, right?
Titans. He filled in nicely for Derrick Henry.
He did. He had a really nice stretch of games there without Derrick Henry. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that as well, although I kind of feel like those are more known quantities. It'd be nice to see if Chuba has put in the work in the offseason and gotten better. Because if he can be, a top 20 running back in the NFL as a starter, if Christian goes down, that's going to be a big upgrade from what he was last year.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see what can transpire. Defensively, I'm looking forward to, like you said, Marquise Haynes, the Amari Parnos, the pass rush. I want to look at Davion Nixon because how much this coaching staff seems to love him. Kind of want to see him. And I'm not sure Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Matt Ioannidis are going to get a lot of playing time. They may not get any.
One series, if that. I mean, that's the thing, though. With only 3 preseason games, that usually that first preseason games there were no starters, right? Back in the day when there
Yeah.
were 4 preseason games, and then the second game you get the series, maybe a quarter. I feel like that's what we're going to get out of the starters in this game. So I do think that Burns will play. I think Dante Jackson will be out there. I think obviously JC probably won't play, but CJ will be out there. I think you'll see most of the starters out there. I hope you do. I completely understand about not playing McCaffrey, and anybody with any little tweak or injury should not play. But I think if you're fully healthy and you're not Christian McCaffrey, then you should probably be out there.
Hmm.
You know,
I don't know.
at least for a series.
I was gonna say I don't know. I don't know if I'd put Brian Burns out there, even if he's fully healthy, because can you imagine injuring him? Because Brian Burns is really kind of the pillar of that defense. Because even though he only got 9 sacks the past 2 years, his pressure rate is insane.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that this defense goes, I mean, you take Brian Burns off the edge, off this team, and we're looking at
Oh, I know.
one of the worst edge rushing teams there is.
Yeah, you're right. But still, I think he wants to be out there, and
he
it's
definitely
important
wants
for
to.
these guys to get some live fire before the season starts. So I don't have a problem with him being out there for a series. Are you looking forward to Hecker? Because there's no other punter or kicker on this team, so Hecker and Gonzalez can be out there the whole time.
I hope I don't see Hecker.
I'd love not to see Hecker. That would be great. In terms of Washington, they've got Carson Wentz, so we're going to see some Carson Wentz. They also drafted a quarterback, Sam Howell out of North Carolina.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
I imagine we'll see a lot of Sam Howell versus Matt Corral in the second half. That'll be kind of fun. You mentioned a couple of former Panthers on the team trying to make the roster.
Oh, they're not even trying to make the roster. Some of them are trying to get starting jobs. Trey Turner is competing for their right guard starting position. F.A. Obata is competing for their backup defensive end, but Chase Young has an injury and probably may not start, so he may get a starting job. And, longtime listeners know we love some F.A. Obata.
Love F.A. Obata, yeah.
So I hope he has a good game that does a good game for him, but not a bad game for who he's facing.
Yes, I hope he only sacks PJ Walker.
Only beats Cam Irving.
Yes, he beats Cam Irving. He sacks PJ Walker. That's our goal. Sack him as many times as you want. I don't care. Let's see. Other than that, I mean, I don't really care much to see anybody on Washington.
No,
so.
Terry McLaurin is a good receiver. He's kind of in that DJ Moore mold of being a very underrated receiver.
Yeah,
but
they've got Curtis Samuel. I think he's hurt, so I don't
shocking.
think he'll play. Yeah, shocking. Right? I read an
article Brown
about him.
De'Ami Brown. I mean, you got the Sam Howell to De'Ami Brown connection. That could be interesting. Yeah. I mean, interesting to a North Carolina fan.
Right. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I honestly think the second half of this game is going to be a lot more, interesting from a future perspective, right?
Yeah.
Just watching, the potential future of both of these teams. It'll be fun to watch. We're not going to make any. I mean, do you want to make any predictions about who wins or anything? It doesn't really matter.
Let's go more snaps. Matt Corral or PJ Walker. I'll let you take PJ Walker because we'll do that beer bet of the week. Does that sound good?
More snaps?
Yeah. Which one do you want?
Well, more snaps. Do you want Matt Corral?
You pick whoever you want. More snaps, Matt Corral or PJ Walker. I'll take the other one.
I'll go Matt Corral.
Okay. I'll get PJ Walker because I honestly think PJ Walker will get more snaps anyways, even though I think it's a dumb idea, but yeah.
You're probably right. But I just want to see Matt Corral more, so that's what I'm going to root for.
Yeah. First, what is a beer bet of the week for preseason?
Like one of those Bud Light Next things. Like this, it's
Is it?
basically
I was gonna say, duels like a point
slightly
zero
carbonated
zero one.
water. Yeah.
Beer bet of the week.
um, let's see. First touchdown. Who gets first touchdown for the Panthers? Who scores the first touchdown for the Panthers?
Very tasty question.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go Deontay Foreman.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say Rashard Higgins.
That was gonna be my second choice.
I'm gonna say Rashard Higgins gets the first touchdown because I don't know that the first team gets a touchdown like the first drive or anything. So
See, I was thinking Rashard Higgins as the third receiver. That's what I was thinking. So
it's possible. It's
and
possible.
I want the first team to score a touchdown. So I'm trying to.
Okay.
A lot of this stuff I'm trying to either hex myself because like PJ Walker, I'm hoping Matt Corral actually gets
Right.
more.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to.
mean Higgins could get a touchdown on the first drive. He could get a touchdown on the fourth drive too. I think he'll be out there
Yeah.
quite a bit. So all right. Any other thoughts before we adjourn until after the preseason game?
I really want to hope that Baker. I hope Baker just dominates this game. I hope that this quarterback controversy kind of ends. I hope Icky submits himself as that left tackle, and that we could stop with this shenanigans of competition. I hate it saying that because I feel like it's a fake competition on both of those fronts and the center front.
How are you gonna feel when Sam Darnold comes out opening drive? Goes 5 for 5, 65 yards, and a beautiful touchdown pass to DJ.
I'll be frustrated.
Mixed feelings.
No, it's not because we know what Sam Darnold is. Sam Darnold holds the ball too long. He doesn't make correct decisions during the actual games. We know that it's only a matter of time before he screws up. We know he's not a starting caliber NFL quarterback. We know that.
If we were playing the Saints and Sean Payton was coaching, would the Saints play their fourth string defense against Sam and their first string defense against Baker anytime they came out there? just to screw with us.
That's why we don't play the Saints in the preseason. But Sean Payton would easily do that to us.
He would definitely do that. All right, I think that's going to do it, Jerry.
All right, we want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show. If you're on YouTube, drop a little comment below with your least or disappointment of the camp and MVP of the camp.
Yeah, we will be back Saturday or Sunday. We'll see what our schedules look like, but we'll definitely recap the preseason game and talk about what we saw and what we liked, what we didn't like. So until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.
Stand and cheer for the Panther.